Topic 1. Meta and Microsoft's strong financial performances. Meta and Microsoft have recently reported strong financial performances. Meta's stock surged after its second quarter earnings announcement, exceeding Wall Street expectations due to increased advertising revenue and user base expansion. The company is heavily investing in artificial intelligence, AI, enhancing its growth potential, with daily active users reaching 3.48 billion, a 6% increase year over year. Meanwhile, Microsoft announced that its Azure cloud computing platform's annual revenue surpassed $75 billion, marking a 34% increase from the previous year. Azure is central to Microsoft's AI-driven strategy, with the company selling AI chatbots and other tools to large enterprise customers. Microsoft's fourth quarter revenue reached $34.3 billion, exceeding Wall Street expectations, supported by significant investments in data centers for cloud and AI technologies. The company's stock has recently surged, bringing its market value to $4 trillion. Topic 2. Federal Reserve's decision on interest rates amid economic uncertainties and Trump's tariffs. The U.S. Federal Reserve has decided to maintain interest rates between 4.25% and 4.5% during its recent meeting, despite President Donald Trump's calls for rate cuts. Trump argues that lowering rates would aid economic growth and reduce government debt interest costs. However, the Fed believes that current economic uncertainties and Trump's tariff policies could likely spur inflation, leading to the decision to keep rates steady. Fed Chair Jerome Powell emphasized a focus on controlling inflation rather than reducing borrowing costs for the government or mortgage rates. He also noted that the impact of Trump's tariff policies on economic growth, jobs, and inflation is not yet fully understood. This decision came with dissent from two board members, appointed by Trump, who support rate cuts. Their opposition reflects economic uncertainties and political pressures within the Fed. The Fed remains open to adjusting its rate policy based on future economic data, with the likelihood of a rate cut in September currently diminished. Markets are viewing this decision as reducing the chances of a rate cut, which may lead to discontent from President Trump. Topic 3. Trump's trade agreements and tariffs impacting international trade dynamics. President Donald Trump recently announced a trade agreement with South Korea, where South Korea agreed to invest $350 billion in the US and purchase $100 billion worth of energy. As a result, tariffs on South Korean imports have been reduced from 25% to 15%. Trump is also facing challenges in trade negotiations with India, planning to impose a 25% tariff on Indian imports. Through various trade agreements, Trump is adjusting tariffs as part of a strategy to reduce the US trade deficit. However, these tariff policies are creating uncertainties in international trade and could lead to additional costs for consumers and businesses in the US. Additionally, there is an ongoing legal challenge regarding Trump's authority to impose tariffs, which could significantly impact his trade strategy. The courts are reviewing whether Trump's use of the International Emergency Economic Powers Act, IEPA, to impose tariffs is lawful. In this context, Trump continues to negotiate trade agreements with multiple countries, aiming to reduce the US trade deficit. However, these tariff policies are generating uncertainties in international trade and may impose extra costs on US consumers and businesses. Topic 4. Recall of mislabeled vodka seltzers and energy drinks, due to safety concerns. High Noon has announced a recall of certain vodka seltzer products that were mislabeled as Celsius energy drinks. This issue arose from a packaging supplier mistakenly sending empty Celsius cans to High Noon's facility. The incorrect labeling poses a risk of unintentional alcohol consumption for consumers, particularly for children or those avoiding alcohol for health or religious reasons.